Well, I started my musical career as a kid, really. I wanted a guitar when I was a kid, and I think my dad got one for Christmas when I was 10 or something like that. So I started like imitate, and then I thought it was more fun to create pretty quickly. You know, just copying and learning other things felt a bit boring. So I started making my own melodies almost immediately, and that's, I guess, where I've been taking it from. I was in my first band when I was 12. I lived in the north of Sweden, far away as fuck from everything. And up there we had a couple of guys interested in more extreme music. So we, of course, we were the guys, so we were the band. And from there it came, and how I ended up with doing music for films. I don't know, I've always liked films, and I think also that all these guys from the 90s black metal scene have at some point had like a side project that they wanted to explore this more ambient kind of sound. So I think it came kind of natural when I got the opportunity now recently to actually make music for a movie. Well, when you come from a little town back before the days of the internet, if you wanted something done and you didn't have money, you learn yourself. You cannot, I mean, as I told you, we were the guys, so we were the band. And then we needed to record. Of course, we couldn't afford to go into a fancy studio, so we gathered what equipment we could, made it ourselves, and learned slowly how to improve the sound for it to make it sound less shitty, basically. And that's something that I've been taking with me in all the bands I've been. Because why are you relying on other people when you can do it better yourself to make sure your vision is intact? Exactly. Because when you leave something to someone else, you are leaving away a piece of your vision, and you're including someone else's vision in it. And that can be super cool also, but it doesn't have to be. Actually, I met Emir without knowing that he was involved in the movie scene. He came out to a concert that we had in the States when we were on tour with Dark Funeral. And then later he contacted me and asked if he could have some of my band Gras music in a movie. So we said, yeah, sure, that'd be cool. And so it ended up in this Pigman film, a couple of Gras songs. And then he, on a fan basis, made a video for us also for another song from that album. Super cool. So that's how it started. He's been providing some video material for us, and we've been providing some music for him. Yeah. Emir asked me if I could do the original score for his movie Veronica that he has been struggling with for a bunch of years, if I understood him correctly. It's been like on and off, and now it's on. And he asked me to do the score, and I thought, yeah, why not? It's an interesting opportunity to do something, to create something from zero. And it was interesting to do and to think outside the box, because when I compose music for a band, you create a song. But when you compose for an image, maybe you only have this 10-second gap to fill. Maybe you have only, so you make, for this movie I made songs and I made themes, short themes, maybe 30 seconds. Sometimes it ended up being a 10-minute theme with different variations, so he can choose which emotion he wants. Maybe to play the same thing on a piano, same thing on a guitar, same thing with drums or without drums, for him to have options. But it's basically one 30-second theme that is just looped in different variations for him to choose. So that was interesting, because it's very different from how I write for a band. Then you have this like 3 to 15-minute gap, and you actually have to, you make songs. But for a film you can make more themes for specific pieces of a movie. There are a lot of soundtracks that are amazing. One that I actually bought, I remember when I was young, my first soundtrack actually was Conan the Barbarian. It's dark, it's fantastic. I think the composer is Greek, if I'm not mistaken. It's bombastic, it's big, and that's something also actually that's been following Arnold Schwarzenegger, I think, these bombastic soundtracks. I mean, the Terminator soundtrack is also fantastic, Terminator 2, with everything from this bombastic drums up onto Guns N' Roses. I'm a bit new with this composing music for films, so I think I have a lot of things to discover still in how to think and so. But when I watch a movie, the music is of course very important because it gives a groove, and it can give a speed, it can give a pace in a movie. If it's something to be stressful or relaxing, I mean, it's like the ambience. It's like going on a date, what music do you choose? Going to the gym, what music do you choose? I mean, the soundtrack for a movie is kind of the same as the soundtrack for your own playlists when you're listening to music at home or whatever you're doing, really. Well, I am a restless person, so when I don't have anything to do, I feel like a shark, you know, drowning. So I need to create something to do, and I have so many things to choose from right now. So I can do a bit of everything. And when this pandemic struck with curfews and lockdowns and shit, it was a good opportunity for me to go through my photo collection. And I created a photo book from that because, well, traveling was off, and you know, it's about opportunity and what things come to me. I'm working on the new Dark Funeral album with lyrics. I'm working on the next Gra album also with mostly music. And then I'm mixing and mastering a third project, which I'm also co-producing. And I have the Veronica film upcoming. So there's a lot of things. And some weeks I have to have like a strict as fuck schedule. And other weeks I can just focus on one thing and get far. It's like a little race. And sometimes things get ticked off and new things come in. The big difference between working with movie composing compared to band composing is that you have the themes. And also for Veronica I made themes that maybe I wouldn't make for my bands, maybe more uplifting music, and you know, I'm more into this black metal stuff, but some parts need a bit more uplifting stuff, and it was interesting to do that because I've never done it. In my entire life I've never done a positive piece of music. So that is something that you have to break barriers with, because you need to go outside of yourself and entering someone else's vision, and that is a new concept for me, but it's very interesting. I think a lot of producers are out there and they want to stay in the underground, and I fully respect that. As well as I fully respect the ones that pursue maybe more fame and glory, if you will. I mean, it's all about to follow your own vision. And if your vision is to do whatever you want without anyone interfering, and if you can do that, if you can afford to do that, go for it. Yeah, because I assume that the truth is that the higher you aim, the more you have to compromise with your vision, or share your vision with more people. If I could choose to work with anyone, I would love to work with David Lynch.
David Lynch.
Yeah. I think he's my all-time favorite living and or dead. It will be so interesting to see how he composed, because he's also a musician.
Yes.
And he's done a couple of albums and they are weird as fuck, but I love them. When it comes to movies, I like a big variety of things. I mean, for example, yesterday I was watching Twins, which is a comedy with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. It's fantastic. But I also like, especially these older horror films like Necromantic, because there is something in underground filming that you have to splash, you have to get fucking greasy, you have to get dirty. You cannot just pay for someone to make the fancy stuff in the studio and the CGI effects and shit. Like, it was something more disgusting in the past, in like the 60s, 70s, 80s films, because you actually had to be disgusting. Yes. So yeah, that's my kind of niche when I'm watching something just because I want to watch a movie. Maybe I will go to one of those old zombie films or something, you know? Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Necromantic, Zombie Holocaust, Cannibal Holocaust. That shit it's not made today. Since the pandemic struck and everything went to shit basically with my original plans, which was touring the world, yeah, things have been kind of weird. So yeah, I did this photo book. I also released a solo single with a video. So yeah, I've been busy, but my main project is still the Next Door Funeral album. That's something that I'm working on every day. Even now I have stuff in the back of my head that I'm thinking of working on the lyrics for that. So that is my big priority, and to have had this year to focus on these things, it has been interesting. But I don't want another year like this. No. I want to get out in the world again and have new impressions. That's something that is really bothering me, that when everything is standing still like this, you don't have new impressions. How am I supposed to create something new when I don't have any new impressions? I mean, today is like 3 weeks ago, or 2 months ago, or tomorrow, or maybe a year ago. I don't know. You see these memes now with this March is coming again. Why is this welcome again? Because last year was shit. There is something in that. Time is like in a weird capsule right now. I'm just waiting for it to end.